Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a servant and messenger. Allah sent him, that is Muhammad, with Deen al-Haq, that is the religion, the way of life that will dominate all other ways of life, whether the mushriks like it or not. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأوثاق الأمور كلمة التقوى وخير الملال ملة إبراهيم وخير السنن سنة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأشرف الحديث ذكر الله وأحسن القصص هذا القرآن وخير الأمور أوازموها وشر الأمور محدثاتها وأحسن الهدي هدي الأنبياء وأشرف الموت قتل الشهداء وأما دلالة بعد الهدى وخير الأعمال ما نفع وخير الهادي ما أتبع وشر الأمة أما الكرب. The Prophet ﷺ said the most truthful of discourses is Kitabullah, or the Book of Allah. The most trustworthy word is taqwa, or fear of Allah. The best of the communities is the community of Prophet Ibrahim. The best way of life is the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The remembrance of Allah is the most glorious of all things. The best of all narrations is the Quran. The best acts are those requiring the highest degree of will and determination. Worst acts are those based on innovation. The best way of life is the one adopted by the prophets of Allah. The most glorious death is the death of the martyr. The most wretched blindness consists of going astray after finding the right way. The best acts are the ones that yield benefits. The best guidance is that which people may be able to follow. The worst blindness is the blindness of the heart. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna Allah ya'muru bil-'adli wal-ihsani وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ يَعِظُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin, and He forbids all shameful deeds and injustice and rebellion. He instructs you that you may receive admonition. فَمَنْ يُرِيدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ Sadrahu lil Islam. Those whom Allah in His plan willing to guide, He opens their breast to Islam. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O you believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except in a state of Islam. وَأَتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ, and hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves, and remember with gratitude Allah's favor upon you. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nasi ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. You are the best of peoples, evolved for mankind, enjoining what is right, forbidding what is wrong, and believing in Allah. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal-as innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. So today, we're dealing with, Ramadan is moving close to this, about the last 10 days. And we've had a beautiful Ramadan. Actually, it's gone quite fast, maybe because we've had pretty cool weather most of the time. But there's a great struggle in the universe, and that great struggle is between the shaitan, and between the human being. It's a great spiritual struggle. For instance, that's what Ramadan mainly helps us with. Fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, that you learn self-restraint, self-control, self-discipline. So fasting is a means of helping you learn how to control yourself. It's the process of tatakun is like taskiya bil nafs. Taskiya bil nafs means the struggle to purify, to cleanse the spirit or the soul. Taskiya comes from the word zakah or zakat, regular zakat, which also means it grew or it increased. So, but it means purification also. So zakah means to cleanse or to purify. And in this process here, we're reading the ayat by the time, or by the gift of time, or the token of time, or by the gift of time as it has unfolded itself through the ages, recording man's successes and failures. Surely man is in a state of loss, except to those who believe and do good and join together in the mutual teachings of truth, patience, and constancy. So it uses certain vocabulary. Of course, time is a phenomenon. Time is a created thing. See, because we exist in time, but Allah created time. So he's swearing by, he don't swear by the human being or mountains. Allah is just swearing by this time, because there are certain characteristics of time. It is the historical process that have shown the human being about khusr, loss. That if you don't follow these things, first of all, is faith. That's what Allah gives you. Subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you faith. Everything that we have seen in history, the great Roman empires, the Greeks, the great African, Egyptian empires, all of those, right? When we study those, when we research those, we may find a few good people throughout that period, but they were a loss. Except those people, right, that did good deeds and joined together in the mutual teachings or prompting or urging people to do good, right? So that's when it says by the time. Allah is swearing by time. Now you look at the whole historical process. Now we have enough history to look at now to get some familiarity with the patterns of things in the universe, right? We have enough time in back of us to understand some of the processes, some of the historical processes. And now Allah is telling us that I don't care what you're involved in. Your business is a loss. Your social development is a loss. Your capital development is a loss. One of the great scholars wrote, he heard an ice seller, quite a while back in the markets saying, "Oh people, come and buy my material because my capital is wasting away, it's melting away." And so the scholar said, that's asa, that's time. Because the ice seller, his capital, if you don't come by it quickly, what's happening? It's going to melt away. So this time that Allah gave us is a gift, by the gift of time, as it has unfolded itself through the ages, recording man's successes and failures, surely man is in a state of loss. Khusr. Amilu salihat. There's another ayat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech than one who calls men to Allah, work righteous deeds? Amilu salihat. You can find it throughout the Quran. In fact, Islam is built on those principles of Iman and Amal. Iman and Amal. Faith and deeds. Faith and good works. And works righteousness and says, I am of those who bow in Islam. That might be something pretty hard to say right now, because see, the Muslims are the target of one war after another, one psychological warfare after another, one assault after another. That's us, right? And so many Muslims would find it hard to say, "Innani min al-Muslimin," that I am a Muslim. I am from amongst the Muslimin, right? It takes a little courage now. Alhamdulillah, we're doing pretty good. But along with that saying that I am a Muslim means Amilu salihat, working righteous deeds, doing good deeds, right? So this is what prevents a loss. If you want to prevent a loss, then what do? You work righteous deeds. وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاسَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And you join together in the mutual teachings of truth and of patience and of constancy. In other words, now, if you're going to do something serious in this life, you're going to have some sabr. You're going to have that long-range vision, right? You're going to have some discipline. You're going to have some self-control. You're going to have some tenacity, right? You're going to have a whole bundle of characteristics which this month helps us develop. Tatakun, that's what you, self-discipline, self-control, self-mastery, isn't it right? That's what we're learning this month. And Allah don't just leave you running around. You know, your car running, it needs a tune-up every now and then. The human being runs around in this world and needs a tune-up every now and then. Will Allah bring us back every year to 1 month during the year, which is Ramadan. Ramadan. What does Ramadan mean? Heat, burning, right? It means purification. That's what it means, that heat. Sometimes you can feel it in your stomach, sometimes you can feel it in your breath, right, going out. It's a terrible thing, that. But it's cleaning up, it's purifying your internal self. It's burning off all of that excess. That's what purification means. Ramada used to, in the old days, the camel, sometimes you know how the sidewalk get real hot and the little kids step on the sidewalk, then they jump back on the grass? Well, the desert used to be so hot sometimes, the sand, that they had to wrap the camel's feet. That's where the word Ramada is. That has a lot to do with that. They wrapped it, that's what they call it, to protect from the heat, right? The heat of Ramadan protects us from all the slings and arrows that may assault us. And everything you do is worthless and useless. Not only in this world, but it's useless for the next. Can you imagine Allah gave us all of this? Well, not all of this, but a little time. And you look at the world, you look at the earth, it all goes through certain changes. Growth, right? Everything is born, growth, decline, and death. Now the only thing that's not subject to that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah don't grow, right? Allah wasn't born, lam yalid wa lam yulad, he wasn't born, right? Allah is not going to decline, he can't get no smaller. And Allah is not going to die, but you and I are. We're in this period, we're passing through this world, and we're traveling through this world, and all of a sudden our parents have a kid, it's you and I, and we're born, right? Then we grow like we are now, healthy, pretty good size, but we're going to hit a decline pretty soon. Decline means you're going to get these gray hairs, you're going to start easing around a little bit, and then you're going to die. Without the essence of the surah wal as, all of this would be for nothing. You would have wasted your time. You would have wasted your energy. You would put your life through nothing because you didn't use your time properly. You know, we have something here. We know this because, you know, after a while you done seen some of them things. And the Quran talks about Ayn al-Yaqeen, Ilm al-Yaqeen, Haqq al-Yaqeen. That means, Yaqeen means certainty, a certain amount of certainty. Some certainty because you've seen it. Some certainty because you just know it's true. And some things are in itself absolutely true, and it manifests itself on all levels, and you know that that is true. This life that we're living, we say it is true. But we're going to have to deal with it properly. That's why وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. At the same time, this gift, we're put here, we're different from other human beings. The human being has certain boundaries and certain limits that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, the limits that we have. Only Allah knows those limits. And then, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. We created the human being, the best taqweem and the best smoke. We have an opportunity. Do you know our opportunities? The angels are perfect beings, but the angels do not make choices. There's only two beings that have any say-so over. All animals are controlled by intuition and what have you, so they don't make no huge decisions. But Shaitan and his family, they have some will. And the human being. The unlimitedness of our life is shown everywhere, but it's now being reflected in war. It's being reflected in tragedy and starvation. The human being scientifically is able now to make the world any way they want to make it. But if you go to the oceans and see what he's done there, you'll find, I didn't believe it, but I believe it now, The ocean have more plastic in it than it does fish right now. Let me say that again. The ocean has more plastic in it than it has fish. Can you imagine? The Atlantic Ocean is 41 million square miles. The Pacific Ocean is either 64 or 68 million square miles. If it's full of plastic, more plastic than fish. Look what the human being has done, right? What has he produced? How has he used technology? How has he used his development in sociology? Bigger wars, more machinery, right? And more fitna. Why? Because of the process Tazkiyah bil Nafs. He has not learned to control himself. Right? So everything he's doing, and he got me and you stuck there too. With him. Because he's running the show. Everything is a loss. We have to produce a new world. We have to put a stop to this type of thing. You and I, we have to put a stop. I'm not talking about revolution and all that. I'm talking about the type of human engineering that can visualize a world that we want to live in and then work towards producing that world. Right? Whether it's nonviolent resistance, whether it's alternative resistance, whatever it is, we have to visualize what type of world do I want to live in? What type of human society do I want to live in? Do we have the ability to produce any type of environment now that we want to live in? Can we control ourselves? Can we deal with the oceans and the air and the glaciers and all of that? Yes, we can. And it's your duty and it's our responsibility to get busy in a hurry. Because I don't care how many millions of dollars you make driving your cab up and down the street. We done got to the position where that's going to be a loss for you, buddy. Yes, it is. Humanity does not have unlimited time at the record, right? At the rate, following the process that it's using today. So the Quran says, by the gift of time, as it has unfolded through the ages, recording man's successes and failures, surely the human being is in loss, except those who believe and do good. And Allah created us with this great ability, right? And we can go to the highest of the high. That's what the words meant in the taqween. You can go to the highest of the high, or you can go to the lowest of the low. Where are we at now? Where are we headed now? Are we headed to the highest of the high? Is the UN, the great UN, a tool for gangsterism for the U.S. and other big countries, or is it an office of peace and tranquility? Huh? You figure it out for yourself. Okay. So time is a gift. We're saying that we have to use this time. We have to use it for the benefit of good, counseling each other, exhorting each other to do good deeds. And if we don't do them, we're in big trouble. We can see that right now, that if we don't follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us, then we're in trouble. One of the commentators says, in fact, this is some ayahs from Quran. In fact, true believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger, then entertain no doubt. They don't have no doubt about their religion. Everything, you know, the Quran says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This or that is the book. In it is guidance for sure for those who believe. Okay, you're not worried about Donald Trump and Rumsfeld and all them people, right? But it's a guidance, it's a manual for you. And if we follow the guidelines that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us, we cannot be a failure in life. We cannot lose in life. But if we don't have faith, if we don't have true faith, all the stuff that we're doing in life is a loss. Khusr. Like the ice seller said, "Oh people, please come buy my wares because my capital is melting away." You know, in the old days they'd have ice in the markets. And the ice seller's there with his ice and it's melting away. The scholar said, that's what I lost. That's time. Hey man, make use of your time right now. Because by the gift of time, as it has unfolded itself through the ages, surely man is in a state of loss, except those who believe, do good, and join together, mutual teaching of truth, patience, and constancy. Goes on to say, those who said, this is from the Quran, Allah is our Lord, then stood steadfast by it. Amanta Billah, those who said, or the Quran is saying to them, Allah is the Lord, and they stood by it. Now remember, we got this whole guidebook. We have to stand by it. We know that the hadiths tell us that there'll come a time when, said during the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you missed 10% of your deen, you was in trouble. But he said there will come a time if you could practice 10% of your religion, 10%. You will be rescued, and then it goes on to say, in that time, holding on to your deen would be like holding a hot coal in your hand. Huh? That's the time we're living in right now. Okay. True believers are those whose hearts tremble with awe whenever Allah is mentioned. Whenever Allah is mentioned, they just almost go into a swoon. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min shari waswasi khannas, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, minal janati wan nas. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil of the evil one who withdraws, who instigates evil in the hearts of men, among jinn and men. Okay. There's a statement here I would like to read about Lord, Rabb. The Arabic word Rabb conveys not only the idea of fostering, bringing up, or nourishing, but it also that of regulating, completing, and accomplishing, i.e., of the evolution of things from the crudest state to that of the highest perfection. According to Rabb, signifies the fostering of a thing in such a manner as to make it attain one condition after another until it reaches its goal of completion. Hence, Rabb is the author of all existence, who has not only given to the whole of creation its mean of nourishment, but has also beforehand ordained for each a sphere of capacity, and within that sphere provided the means by which it continues to attain gradually to its goal of perfection. And this might relate a lot to Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil-Alameen means Lord of the world, but Lord is that's not a complete word. Maybe nourisher to perfection. In other words, like the writing is said, Allah created the human being. And Allah created us with the capacity. Certain limitations, we don't know what our limitations are, right? Every record they make, it keep getting broken down, 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 down. Isn't that right? Pretty soon they will probably running a marathon in less than 2 hours. Why? Because it's been coming down and down and down and down. Right? So we don't know what our capacity is in the physical world nor in the spiritual realm. And we won't know until we leave here, but in the meantime, we have these great characteristics that we can develop. And Rabbil-Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that gave us those characteristics. Now, this last surah is one of Mu'adhatain. You're supposed to say those surahs before you go to bed at night. Mu'adhatain. And it's seeking refuge. You are seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is able to give you refuge against the monster of creation. Remember? Iblis? Allah, if you just give me a little probation, a little parole, I'll be all right. Allah give him probation. What did he say? Now you done gave me permission, you done gave me probation, you done gave me a little parole. I'm going after Insan. I'm going after him, and I'm going to bust him up, and I'm going to break him up. I'm going to hit him from the top, the bottom, the sides. I ain't going to give him no break, and you ain't going to find but a few of them worth a dime. Because that's the way you treated me. Isn't that something? But he's telling you where he's coming from. And he has that period of time. But is he bad? Absolutely not. He is good. Why? Because the human being's challenge is not dinosaurs and elephants and all those things in creation. The human being, his challenge is himself. Right? So those things outside of the human being, climbing Mount Everest or something, you can do that. People can climb Mount Everest every week. One guy that did it, I don't know how many times, and he still ain't no good. No, he got big problems. And he didn't climb, one of the guys over there, he climbed it, looked like 13, 14, 15 times. But has he dealt with himself? This is the thing. We seek refuge in Allah. Qul a'udhu birabbin nas. We seek refuge in Allah, the King of men, God of men, Allah, the God of men. Nothing deserves to be worshipped. La ilaha illallah. The Allah that we're dealing with here is the Allah. You turn to the one who's created everything. Rabbil-Alameen, right? That gave everything, that created this whole universe and gave everything in it a destiny and a possibility, and it is the ones with the greatest possibility is you and I. We can rise above an angel, right? Because they hymn the praises of Allah. They do exactly what they're told. But you got to struggle to do that, right? You got to struggle to do that. You got to challenge yourself. And who you working with? Let's see who we got here. Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, he said, and Ibn Jarir, who has said that it is Satan that is alluded to by the term waswas. He has been called khannas, a term which refers to one who hides appears and disappears often, because Shaitan prompts a man to evil whenever he finds him forgetful of Allah, withdraws when he finds his heart filled with the remembrance of Allah, and reappears when he finds it devoid of its remembrance. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a handle on dealing with this waswas, khannas, evil, jinn, and all that. How? The dhikr of Allah. It says that he appears, reappears. This is a secretive joker. So how does he operate? If you're on your job, you remember Allah, he ain't around. He just waiting. If you just drift a little bit, oh, he comes in with a little more drift. Right? Yes, he do. Suggestion, sudurinaz, to the heart of the people, insinuating inside of you. What if something go wrong? This guy is so rotten. If you listen to him and then mess up, he appears and disappears, reappears and disappears, right? He's very secretive. If you listen to his whisper, right, and you mess up, do you think he shows up? No, that's you. And guess who you blame? You don't blame the shaitan, you blame yourself. Man, I blew it, I messed up, and then now you're two wrongs. You didn't listen to the shaitan, and now you're blaming yourself instead of blaming him. What could have protected you? What could have rescued you? The dhikr of Allah. The greatest thing, without doubt, I'm telling you, is the dhikr of Allah, the remembrance of Allah. There's a polish for the heart too. Hadith. Will anything rust? Oh, Rasul? Yeah, everything will rust. Even the heart will rust? Yeah, but there's a polish for the heart. That cleans it up, shine. It's the dhikr of Allah. That's what it is. You see? Let's get on with it. Okay, now, shaitan and humans. The Sahih narration, Muslim reported Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam having said, "There is none amongst you but has a devil appointed over him." He was asked, "Even you, O Messenger of Allah?" He replied, "Yes, even over me, except Allah has helped me over him so that he became a Muslim and does not suggest to me anything but good." There's a hadith, that's Bukhari and Muslim, and there's another one very similar. Once the Prophet ﷺ went to the graveyard to pray for the martyrs at night. And so Aisha radiallahu anha got suspicious and she followed them to the graves. She followed, oh, he's in the grave, she ran back. But he knew he had followed it. He said, "Oh, Rasulullah, what made me do that?" He says, "The shaitan." Now she's thinking, I'm the daughter of Abu Bakr, the wife of the Prophet, I got a shaitan? He said, "Yeah, I got a shaitan." She said, "Even though Rasulullah," he says, "Yes, but Allah have allowed me to conquer that shaitan, and he only suggests good to me." That's a big deal. Remember, you've been given power now. You're not helpless now. You got this dhikr of Allah, and in two hadith, one, you can make the guy a Muslim. What is a Muslim? He submits. Aslama, to submit, right? Allah have given us that power. The shaitan don't run, he run the world now because the people ain't taking care of themselves. Okay, now that's where we and you come in. Okay. So, dear believers, the style adopted here is quite significant because it draws one's attention fully to the identity of the sneaking whisperer after describing its nature in order to show the process by which the evil insinuates, so that one is alerted to watch and confront it. But when one is given the full picture, one knows the sneaking whisper operates secretly. One also realizes that the jinn, as well as humans, for human beings, are not exceptions to spreading evil. There's something now. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu related the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Satan besieges the individual's heart. He subsides whenever whenever, that is us, consciously remembers Allah, but insinuates his evil whenever one is unthoughtful of him. Whenever we're unthoughtful of Allah, whenever we just drifting and going about our business, the shaitan come back. Right? Then when we wake up, as though a light is shined on the identity of shaitan, he withdraws and backs up and go hide again. A bad companion who injects evil into his comrade's heart and mind while he is unaware, as he is thought to be trustworthy. This is shaitan, this is waswasa, this is all of that stuff jumping up on you. A ruler's counselor or advisor who whispers to him and turns him into a destructive tyrant. You know the hadith about every ruler has, if Allah wishes got good for him, he got a good counselor, right? If he forgets, he reminds him, right? All of those things. But if Allah don't have good hooked up for him, he got a low-down, sneaking guy who's always whispering to him, we gotta get more money, we need more taxes, and them people ain't no good. And in the meantime, you'll go over there and you kill this guy because he is your enemy. And now the old evil insinuator back there might really want you and your enemy to have a fight so he could become king or somebody. You gotta watch these guys. Unscrupulous slanderer who fabricates and decorates tales and snakes them, makes them sound factual and convincing. We got a lot of that going. Good God Almighty. Fabricating, decorating tales to make them sound factual and convincing. Okay. A hustler of immoral businesses and dealings who tries to get through people by exploiting their sensual, unhealthy desires. 100 other whisperers who lay various traps inconspicuously utilizing people's different weak points, which they do not detect. We're up against a lot of stuff going on, but all is not lost. Remember, Kul, A'udhu Birabbin Nas. This is your greatest armor. Kul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, Maliki Nas, Ilahi Nas. This is the Savior. Just like in other cases, it's the dhikr of Allah that causes the shaitan to disappear. It is this dhikr that is the most powerful thing in the universe. The shaitan technically is feeble. He's weak. But you got to be strong. If you're not strong, you're in a lot of trouble. Allah permits the shaitan to mess with you. That's your source of strength. He's helping you get big and strong. That's what his probation is about. The shaitan don't run nothing. Didn't Allah say in Quran, I only created men and jinn to serve me? You think because Allah gave him probation for a time, Iblis, that he bad now? No. If you weak, he bad. If you strong, he's weak. He's around, just try a little bit of that, snort a little bit of that hair around, brother, it ain't gonna hurt you. Ooh, you like that, don't you? Don't that ain't that nice? Just coasting. That's the first. So you try it once and you're going about your business. Then 2-3 weeks later, you try it a little bit more. First, the shaitan was real easy. Oh, you go on and just ease around a little bit. Pretty soon, he got you hooked, isn't that right? And he loud now. Get up out of that bed and go get your shot. You got 2 shots a day to make, and you ain't got no money in your pocket. The shaitan is now telling you what to do, right? He is your illah. Why? Because your life is just like running around the Kaaba. Your life is running around the dope house now, right? You got to. And the shaitan is not whispering, slinking, and hiding now. He was at first. Oh, yeah, just a little bit, it ain't gonna hurt you. It's good for you. Go on, give it a little try, right? That's at first. After he gets you hooked, he's demanding, get on up out of that bed. And you jump straight up and go get it if you can get any sleep at all. Isn't that right? That's the way he operates. If you weak, he's strong. If you strong, he's weak. The Quran is your guide base to make you strong. Let's see. If one escapes from this too, in the last resort, they try that one should keep the true religion confined to oneself and should do nothing to make it prevail. But if a person defeats all of these plans, the whole party of the devils from amongst men and jinn makes a common front against him, incites and stirs up the people and makes them shower him with invective and accusations and slander, and defames him as widely as it can. So if you escape all the trouble, now the shayateen, the people, rise up, satanic people, and they conspire together to defame you. You are the target. Now, yeah, you, the target. This is Maulana Maududi. He's telling you probably what happened to him. The people get up together and they defame you. And they try to make life miserable. And if they can't stop you, they try to make it where now it's a personal religion. It's just you. You're by yourself. You're all by your lonesome. That's what it means. Then Satan comes to the believer and excites him to anger, saying, "It is cowardly of you to have borne all these insults. Arise and clash with your opponents." This is the last and final device with Satan, by which he tries to thwart the struggle of the caller to truth and entangle him in difficulties and obstructions. That's the shaitan. If he can't stop you with all of that, finally, he turns to certain types of violence. And then tell you if you don't respond, you're a coward. So, if you've seen some pictures like this, that comes from the satanic forces in Oakland, California. You can see the knots on my head there. What is that? That's the shayateen in Oakland. What are they doing? They figured that the Negro is not going to stand no assault like that. So it's attack. I'm telling you, I've lived all this stuff. If you read it right now, I wouldn't be here. So, and then the people are called, they'll call you, man, we got to take care of that. You say, no. Why did everybody want to resort to violence? Because that's what they've been taught. And even if they're good people, they still listen to the shaitan. Why? Because if you get involved in that type of violence at this time, you're in trouble. You have submitted to their way of life, to their struggle. Black on black crime, every black organization fighting another black organization, isn't that right? Every Arab organization fighting another Arab organization. Every Sudanese don't like that Sudanese. Well, not all of them. But in every country, I was in Pakistan and I was on this corner and the other corner. The guys on that corner hated the people on the other corner, and the people on this corner hated them. I said, man, that's some serious business, and y'all are all Muslims. Well, there's Sufis over there. And what else? All over the world. Remember, the satanic rule of the British. What is it? Divide, conquer, rule. What is the satanic position? Divide, conquer, and rule everybody. Right? I'm telling you, your guidebook is this Quran. And it helps you throughout all of these types of incidents. And if you do it properly, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a guide and sure without doubt to those who believe in Allah, right? The Hidayah is a book. Look, we're going to close with this. Hidayah, guidance. You can't go wrong if you use the Quran. In the Quran, Allah made the Quran for you. And if you study that Quran over and over and over again, guess what? Every time you have a need, those ayats, those surahs that you need to get you through that period, they're going to jump out at you. No matter how many times you read the Quran, don't you read it this year and you say, man, how did I miss that ayat? How did I miss it? You're reading the whole surah and you said, did I read this surah before? Have I missed this 25 times I read this Quran? Could I have missed it? But it wasn't for you at that time. You didn't need it at that time. It's in the back of your mind, but you needed it now. I'm telling you, we're going to close, but we're going on a journey. You can come or you can stay home. It don't make me no difference. But we're going out to fix this boy this time. Yeah. And you're going to need discipline, self-control, vision, endurance, tenacity. You don't need all that. It can't be no words. Because this boy here, he going to make sure you got all of those with you. Isn't that right? The higher you get, the more you evolve in this situation. Huh? The more he stretch out on you. But the better you get, the smarter you get. Your belief increases by leaps and bounds. Why? Because when this guy get after you, can't nobody out here help you. Only Allah can help you. That's why A'udhu Barabbin Nas, Maliki Nas, Ilahi Nas, Min Shari Waswasi Khannas. Allah gonna help you. I'm gonna close against this satanic force that sneaks up to you and start whispering to you and then back up. And I'll close with this by the English meaning. And the devil will say when the matter is decided, surely Allah promised you a promise of truth. I promised you, but I lied to you. I had no authority over you except that I called you and you obeyed me. So blame me not, but blame yourself. I cannot come to your help, nor can you come to mine. I deny your act of associating me with Allah. Surely for the injustice and painful chastisement, now that's like you go to court. I done said it before. And there's your defendant. Well, what did you have to do with this? It was him. He won, right? And it's too late for you. You can't turn back and say, no, it was him. That's the shaitan. All of this, you waste your time, voila, go ahead. On the day of judgment, you're going to jump up and blame it on the shaitan. Shaitan's going to jump up and say, no, you didn't. You read the Quran right there. What it says. Surely Allah promised you a promise of truth. This is what the shaitan is saying. I promised you. I said, good God Almighty. You believe Trump, you believe William. I lied to you. I had no authority over you except I whistle and you come running. Don't blame me, but blame yourself, homeboy. I can't come to your help, and you can't come to mine. We got lost on this one. I can't help you. You can't help me. And now this shirk, in Arabic it has the idea of shirk in it. I deny your act of associating, associating? Shirk? Me with Allah. You can't give me, what are you talking about? Ooh, boy, that's the worst thing in the world you can do. You was giving me authority like you should have gave to Allah. Oh, my goodness. That's the shaitan. Oh, you want to see somebody act, you wait till the shaitan get loose on the day of judgment. Boy, he going to be foaming at the mouth and, oh, Lordy, I don't know what to do. You gave me all of that? He going to call you that. That's what he said. You are mushrik because you gave me that authority instead of Allah. Allah promised you a promise of truth. Now, if you want to be double-crossed like that, you keep on doing like you're doing because the shaitan definitely going to. The Quran said it, so you know he's going to say it, right? We thank all of you very much. It's been a beautiful Ramadan. We're going to get our few nights in. And for Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. We seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. We seek thy refuge from cowardice and niggardliness. We seek thy refuge from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. For Allah, suffice us with what is lawful. Keep from us what is prohibited. With thy grace, make us free from what is beside thee. Ameen. I'm coming to Salah.
Takbir.